Hate to see it botched? Here's the best bits, a Botching It Up podcast short clip.
There's one other thing that I need to get off my chest, Ben. And
Okay.
this has been a long getting off our chest. Orange Cassidy, man.
I loved that go home segment.
I hated it.
No, because it brought Orange Cassidy out of a comedic role and it set up a serious match.
Right. So you please tell me, what is Orange Cassidy's gimmick when he gets angry?
I feel like the gimmick has become Orange Cassidy is a gimmick. And then when you push him too far, he's just a normal guy.
Cody Rhodes, in a press conference earlier in this edition of Dynamite, said verbatim, I enjoy the idea of wrestling being a sport, and he wants to bring the sport element back to the product. He said, I don't like meta wrestling, play wrestling, or cosplay wrestling. When Orange Cassidy gets angry and the gimmick goes away, is he not all three of those?
He now becomes cosplay, yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
I don't like the Orange Cassidy gimmick, and this is one of the main reasons why I haven't liked the Orange Cassidy gimmick since it started. It's not necessarily because he annoys me, it's because he's a one-trick pony. His little super kicks might get a pop, and his stupid jokes might get a pop, but that's it. He's a character. He's like Hornswoggle. When you take him out of his element and you make him angry and you get some fire going in with him, you realize that everything that he's doing within this world of wrestling is bullshit. So you either have to get behind Orange Cassidy the person and completely negate Orange Cassidy, what made him popular, or you have to somehow take both, and both doesn't work because you can't sell one and then sell the other.
I know you're not a fan of it, and neither am I to a degree, but there's always been a place for comedy in wrestling.
Not in the main event.
But this match won't be. I know it was a main event promo on the last show, but it won't be a main event match.
Well, apparently this segment bombed, and NXT beat them in the ratings wars for the first time in ages, and I'm glad that it got trashed, and I'm glad that Orange Cassidy can't continually be relied on for good ratings now. I know that sounds harsh, but this segment, more than anything else, really did show me the issue, the main primary issue with Orange Cassidy's character, and that is, once you try and actually do something with him, he becomes nothing.
I agree with you. If you're going to have a comedy character, there's a place for comedy in wrestling. I'm not against that at all. But you're right, it's not in the main event spot. And if you take that comedy guy and you put him in the main event spot and you do it almost overnight, it feels weird. I mean, if Orange Cassidy had transitioned through months and months of character work, it would be fine. Just out of the blue like this, you've now, like you said, you've lost the character that made him really popular with the fans, and it feels uncomfortable seeing him in a serious light versus Chris Jericho. You're right.
That's fine. Just keep him on the undercard.
Yeah. I mean, I even like him being a comedy manager or a third wheel to a serious tag team. I think that's an okay dynamic, and it's worked for them.
Well, Best Friends I wouldn't really call a serious character, but he was their little mascot.
They're not serious characters, but they are
serious workers when they have to be.
You can legitimately see them as contenders.
See, they're a better aspect of what comedy is. They're the sort of guys that can laugh, can joke, and be comedic characters, but when they get in the ring, they get serious. I've got no issue with that. It's just that Orange Cassidy is sold in such a completely different way from Best Friends that you can't possibly take him seriously when he gets angry, and if you do, he loses all essence of what he is. He becomes a stranger.
Have you watched yet Pac versus Orange Cassidy?
I still haven't got around to that one.
It's a really fun watch. And in that case, Orange Cassidy becomes serious towards the end of the match. He suddenly wants to win the match rather than joke around. And I think that's a better way of playing the joking to the serious rather than in a segment kind of overnight his character's completely changed.
That being said, Orange Cassidy is the only guy in the last year or two, I think, that somebody I know who has absolutely no interest in wrestling sent me a meme of. So he has sort of been the only guy in the past couple of years that's transported himself into a small faction of internet subculture and made himself popular there.
I mean, how long has it been since someone truly invented a new gimmick? It's been a long time.
Yeah.
He's done something no one has done in a very long time. And whether you love it or hate it, I mean, a lot of people love it. And I know it's not serious. It is played for laughs, but it's made him stand out of a huge crowd.
That is true, and that's got him to the position with Chris Jericho. But I can't buy Chris Jericho being a heel character when he's saying to Orange Cassidy, "You're like that joke, the chicken that crossed the road." Third time you hear it, it's tired and bad. That didn't sound like a heel promo to me. That sounded like fact.
I imagine he's a guy Chris Jericho would like, though, because Chris Jericho always used comedy in his career too.
I don't know whether Cody saying that he doesn't like meta and cosplay wrestling was a rib. It felt like it was like an internal joke, because if he doesn't like meta wrestling and cosplay wrestling, he's in the wrong company. He's created the wrong company.
I feel like he's just trying to create an image that's different from everyone on the roster. I feel like it's just him trying to get himself.
But he can't avoid the fact that everything around him is meta and cosplay. Like
yeah, but I don't think that's actually true. I think he's just trying to portray an image that he is the wrestler's wrestler.
In which sense he kind of feels like quite manipulative, because he goes into this saying that he's the true man's wrestler. He ain't no play wrestler. He ain't no cosplay wrestler. And at the same time, he's kind of putting his mates down. He's like that two-sided friend who to one group of guys will be like, "I'm cool. No, those guys are lame." And then he'd go over to the guys and he'd be like, "Hey guys, I love you guys."
Yeah.
That's kind of feels like what he's doing.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a funny way of putting it.
Like, share, and subscribe to keep it botched up, brother.